Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again to really dig into some modern challenges and, pull out solutions you can actually use.
Mm-hmm.
And today, oh boy, we are tackling maybe one of the most universal dilemmas out there.
Yeah.
The weekend.
Ah, yes, the
That
weekend.
precious, 48-hour window.
Yeah,
Friday evening hits, and I think for most people, there's this immediate pressure.
totally. It's like, okay, do I finally collapse and rest, or is this my only chance to get ahead on personal stuff, study, prepare for the week?
Exactly. Is it for sacred rest, pure disconnection, or is it go time for goals and getting ready for Monday? It's a real conflict.
It really is. And that tension, that's exactly what we're diving into. We've
Mm.
looked at a whole stack of sources, psychology articles, productivity guides, even some linguistic stuff.
Right.
And they don't just talk about the problem, they actually offer strategies. So our mission today really is to pull out a practical routine. How do you make your weekend feel good and act as the best possible, ramp up for the week ahead?
Yeah, a proper ramp up, not just stumbling into Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at it all, aren't we? The philosophy of finding that balance, the really practical steps for your home, your schedule, your mental load.
And the big one, digital detox,
Yeah.
wellness, getting offline.
Definitely. And crucially, because what good is all this if you can't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
We built this language toolkit. It's packed with, good B2C1 level English vocabulary, phrasal verbs, expressions, so you can actually discuss these plans and what you did confidently.
Yeah, that language part is so important. It's not an afterthought. We want you, listening right now, to walk away with the actual words, the fluency, to talk about your awesome intentional weekend in a way that sounds natural and, well, specific.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Where do we start? I guess with the big idea, the philosophy behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that jumped out from the sources is this warning. Don't see the weekend as either.
Exactly. It's not option A, 2 days of nonstop chores and work, or option B, just, melting into the couch.
Because both of those actually lead to a pretty miserable Monday, don't they?
They really do. You're either exhausted or you feel like you wasted the time. So the key, according to these sources, is structure. A specific 3-part structure to avoid getting overwhelmed.
3 parts. Okay, what are they?
It's actually pretty clear. You need to consciously make space for 3 things. First, if you absolutely have to, some study or necessary work.
Okay, the unavoidable stuff.
Right. Second is auto-development. That's your personal growth time hobbies, learning something new, reading for pleasure, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And third, and this one needs fierce protection, is time for genuine rest and relaxation, proper downtime.
Okay, steady work, auto-development,
Yeah.
rest. And if you neglect one?
The whole thing kind of falls apart. You lose that equilibrium that makes the weekend feel restorative.
I think for a lot of people listening, the big danger zone is that first one, study or work. It can just expand to fill all the space, can it?
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the biggest pitfall. So how do the sources say we should handle that? Put a boundary around it?
They're actually pretty firm on this, which I found interesting. They really understand limits. If you have to study or catch up on work, they strongly advise capping it. 2 to 3 hours per day, max.
2 to 3 hours max. That's
Yeah.
not a lot if you feel behind.
I know. But they argue it's not just about managing your time, it's about managing your mental load. That smaller focused block lets you feel productive, you get something done,
Okay.
but it stops that work feeling from just bleeding into everything,
Yeah.
ruining your personal time, and especially ruining your rest.
Right. So it contains it. If I've got, say, 10 hours of reading for a course, I shouldn't try and smash it all out on Saturday.
Exactly. The advice is do maybe 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours Sunday.
Yeah.
And just accept that the rest has to happen during the week. The goal isn't massive weekend achievement.
It's more about organization and just containment.
Yeah.
Keeping tasks in their box.
Precisely. You make a small, clear list for just that time block. And that stops you feeling completely swamped by this huge backlog. That feeling of being overwhelmed, that's the real weekend killer.
Yeah, that nagging, I should be doing something else, feeling, okay.
So what I found really fascinating, and it definitely pushes against that, always on productive mindset we have,
Uh-huh.
is how the sources talk about that third element, rest. They really argue against feeling guilty for doing nothing.
Oh, this was maybe the most powerful insight for me, too. They don't just say rest is nice to have. They're saying rest and relaxation are fundamental. They're necessary if you actually want to achieve your goals.
Not optional extras, but core components.
Exactly. They're the engine maintenance, not the fuel itself. One source even mentioned research, stuff highlighted in the Harvard Business Review, showing that idle time, when you're not focused on a specific task, can actually boost creativity and productivity later on.
Okay, but how? Cognitively, how does doing nothing make you more productive? That seems counterintuitive.
Well, it's about how your brain processes things. When you deliberately rest or just let your mind wander, you're often activating what neuroscientists call the default mode network, or DMN.
Okay. Default mode network.
Yeah, and this network is busy behind the scenes, integrating information, consolidating memories, connecting ideas that seemed unrelated. It's doing that crucial subconscious work.
So when I'm laser focused on a spreadsheet, that network is quiet.
Pretty much suppressed, yeah. So that idle time, maybe you're just walking, staring out the window, meditating, that's when your brain gets to synthesize everything. It's where those aha moments often come from.
Ah, I see. So the rest is productive work, just a different kind.
Exactly. It's not wasted time, it's processing time.
Okay, that reframes things massively.
Mm.
So beneficial rest isn't just collapsing on the sofa, binge watching something. Unless that's truly restorative for you, I
It
guess.
needs to be genuinely restorative, yeah. Which often means doing something different from your weekday routine. The sources suggest activities that, and I quote, nurture the part of the brain that governs our pleasure center.
Okay, activating the pleasure center.
And seeking an intense feeling of freedom. So think sensory stuff, hobbies, using your hands, painting, music, cooking, gardening, or just unstructured time outdoors. The key is contrast. If your job is very mental, your rest should maybe be more physical or sensory.
And vice versa. If you have a physical job, maybe quiet reading is the best rest.
Precisely. It's about balancing the different systems.
Okay, so as we're planning these balanced weekends, inevitably we talk about our plans, right? With friends, family, colleagues. And this is where that BDC-1 English practice comes in. We need the right language, especially for plans that aren't set in stone.
Yeah, exactly. Because weekend plans, especially the rest and auto-development parts, are often a bit flexible, aren't they? Just saying, I will do this, can sound a bit robotic or overly definite.
Right. We need ways to show we're considering things that plans might change.
So if you're thinking about trying a new hobby or visiting a place instead of, I will go to the museum, a much more natural way is something like, I'm thinking about checking out that new art exhibit downtown.
Thinking about checking out. Yeah, that sounds much more like how people actually talk.
Or maybe you're trying something small first, like your gardening example. You wouldn't necessarily say, I will have a huge garden.
No, probably not year one.
Right. So you'd use modals or specific phrases. I might expand the garden next season. Depends how this weekend goes. It shows nuance, conditionality.
Okay. And what about that phrase for ultimate flexibility, the one we saw a lot?
Ah, the classic B2 gem. I'll play it by ear.
We'll play it by ear. Perfect.
Yeah.
Immediately tell someone you'll decide based on how things unfold, the weather, how you feel, what opportunities pop up.
Yeah. So having this range of expressions for definite plans, maybe plans, flexible plans, that's really key for sounding fluent and, sophisticated when you're chatting in English.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy sorted. Balance is key.
Yeah.
Now, the sources get super practical. They shift from mental structure to physical structure, making your space actually feel relaxing.
Yes. And this starts with a really important distinction they make, the difference between cleaning and tidying.
Cleaning versus tidying.
Yeah.
What's the difference in this context?
It's crucial for the weekend. The sources are really clear. Yeah. Weekends should not be for those huge, laborious, time-sucking cleaning tasks. The deep clue.
Like scrubbing the grout with a toothbrush.
Exactly. That's not weekend work, ideally. The goal for the weekend is just making the house feel tidy and inviting. Think functional tidiness, not like surgically sterile.
So put things away, clear surfaces, make it look pleasant, but don't start shampooing the carpets Friday night.
Please don't. Those big, arduous tasks, deep cleaning the oven, reorganizing the entire garage, the advice is to either outsource them if you can, share the load, or break them into tiny, 20-minute chunks during the week.
Okay, and the benefit of just tidying.
It's the immediate psychological win. You walk in Friday evening, the place is tidy, and you instantly feel like you can relax. The visual clutter, which creates mental noise, is gone. You're not constantly seeing unfinished chores staring back at you when you try to chill out.
Right, that constant reminder of stuff you should be doing.
Yeah. And this connects back perfectly to that three-part balance, doesn't it? That auto-development time.
How so?
Well, you can use that time for small, satisfying DIY projects that actually help tidy or organize the house. You get that achievement buzz without the sheer exhaustion of a massive cleaning job.
Ah, clever. So small projects that improve the space and feel good. What kind of examples did we find?
Some great ones. If you're a bit handy, simple car stuff. Check the oil, tire pressure, quick vacuum inside. That's like auto-development, saving time later, and organizing all in one go.
Okay, practical. What about inside the house?
Tackle those little nagging things that make a place feel messy, like finally cleaning the shower drain or washing the kitchen hood filter, the greasy thing nobody ever touches.
Guilty. Okay, yeah, small wins.
Totally. Or for a creative outlet, they suggested things like upcycling, painting old jars or cans to make organizers for your desk or kitchen.
Oh, I like that. Quick transformation.
Yeah. Or if you're feeling a bit adventurous, maybe some basic woodworking, like making a simple one-step stool or a little shelf for books. Things you can actually finish in a weekend session.
It's gratifying, isn't it? Seeing something tangible you made.
Exactly. It activates that pleasure center again. You look at it and think, I didn't just consume this weekend, I created something. And you solved a little problem too.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've tidied the physical space. Now, what about the mental space? That crucial Sunday prep.
Ah, yes, the Sunday prep ritual. If you only do one thing from this whole deep dive, this might be it. It's the bridge to a calmer Monday.
Okay, lay it on us. What are the essential tasks?
A few key things. First, the super practical. Plan your outfits for the week, especially if you're going into an office. Just eliminates one set of decisions Monday morning when you're groggy.
Decision fatigue is real.
Yeah.
Okay, outfits. What else?
Meal prep. Or, interestingly, the sources noted that even just planning your meals and lunches for the week is incredibly effective. You don't necessarily have to cook it all, but just writing down Monday, leftovers, Tuesday, salad, that lowers stress significantly. Again, fewer decisions later.
Makes sense. Takes the guesswork out of what's for dinner.
Right. But the absolute number one suggestion, the one they called a potential game changer for anxiety, is the essential task dump.
The task dump sounds cathartic. What is it?
It really is. It's simple. You just sit down and write down all those small, nagging, low-priority tasks that buzz around in your head.
Like what kind of things?
Things that take maybe 5 or 10 minutes, like call Aunt Carol, pay the electricity bill, look up dentist appointment times, put stamps on that letter, the little stuff.
Okay, I have a mental list of those right now. So you write them down where?
In your planner, your agenda, a notebook, whatever. And crucially, you assign them to a specific day or even a time slot during the upcoming week. Call Aunt Carol Tuesday, lunch break.
Ah, okay. But why is that simple act so powerful?
Because it literally empties the brain. Our brains are terrible at holding on to lots of small, low-urgency tasks. They just float around, taking up valuable cognitive bandwidth, like open tabs on your computer, slowing everything down.
I hate the mental clutter.
Exactly. By writing them down and assigning them a time, you externalize the memory and the responsibility. The paper is holding the task and the worry now, not your mind.
Wow.
The sources specifically said this is maybe the single most effective thing you can do to reduce anxiety and get a really tranquil sleep from Sunday to Monday. Because you know it's captured, you know when you'll deal with it, it's not just floating around anymore.
That's huge. A calm Sunday night sleep just from getting tiny worries onto paper. That is productivity gold right there. Okay, so we've got our balance, we've tidied our space, we've dumped our tasks. But none of that works if we spend the whole weekend glued to our screens, right?
The screen. Yeah, the sources were pretty blunt about this constant hyperconnection. It doesn't actually lead to engagement. It leads to, and this was their phrase, saturation and collapse.
Saturation and collapse. That sounds intense.
It is. They argue that digital detox, or DD, isn't some trendy luxury anymore. It's becoming a latent necessity, like essential for our psychological well-being because we're just drowning in screen time.
Okay, let's break down the negative impacts they mentioned. Because it's more than just wasting time, isn't it? There are actual physical and mental effects.
Oh, definitely. First, just the sheer amount of information hitting us causes cognitive overload, makes us tired, stressed, less able to focus. Second, it can lead to social isolation, replacing real face-to-face interaction, which is where we build empathy and real connection.
Right, less actual talking, more scrolling through feeds.
Exactly. And then there's the focus issue. Constant notifications, those little pings and buzzes, they give tiny dopamine hits, training our brains to crave distraction. So our ability to concentrate deeply just erodes.
Makes sense. And the physical impact. especially sleep.
That's a big one. The blue light from screens, particularly in the evening and before bed, messes with our melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. So, screens literally disrupt our ability to get deep restorative sleep.
Okay, this is sounding pretty bleak, but quitting screens entirely isn't realistic for most people.
No, probably not. So the focus is on progressive disconnection, making small, realistic changes that add up.
Like what? What are some practical steps we can actually take this weekend?
Start simple. Define screen-free spaces. The kitchen table during meals, talk to each other. The bedroom especially, the last 30, maybe 60 minutes before you want to sleep. Make it a device-free zone to help that melatonin.
Okay, screen-free zones, then what?
Conscious usage. Instead of just endless scrolling, set specific short times for checking social media or email, like maybe 15 minutes mid-morning, 15 minutes late afternoon. And when you use an app, do the thing you went there to do, then close it. Don't get sucked down the rabbit hole.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Ha, true. But even just being aware of your usage is powerful.
How do you track that?
Use the tools built into your phone. Screen time on iPhones, digital well-being on Android. Just looking at the actual hours spent can be a real wake-up call. It gives you the data, the motivation to set some boundaries.
Okay. Data is motivating.
And remember, active pauses. If you are working on a screen for a long stretch, get up every hour. Walk around, stretch, look out the window, get some fresh air. Just break that continuous screen stare.
Good advice. So if we manage to cut back on screen time, we create this space, this vacuum. How do we fill it well?
Ah, yes. This is where the conscious offline alternatives come in, and the sources frame this beautifully. It's not about losing something screen time. It's about gaining time for activities that genuinely nourish you.
This ties back to auto development and rest.
Perfectly. Replace passive consumption with active creation or movement. Things like reading an actual paper book or magazine, fewer distractions.
Physical activity.
Crucial. Yoga, running, hiking, even just a long walk outside. Getting the body moving, connecting with the physical world, it's great for clearing the head.
And creative stuff.
Highly recommended. Writing, drawing, maybe trying a complex recipe you wouldn't normally have time for, gardening, simple crafts. These are therapeutic. They're engaging but low stakes, giving that sense of accomplishment without the pressure of work.
Okay. What about mindfulness?
Also great. Meditation, mindfulness exercises, excellent tools for reducing stress and just being more present, which is the opposite of that screen-induced scattered feeling.
Now, my favorite concept from this section, the one designed to fight that urge to just collapse on the couch, was the micro-adventure.
Yes, micro-adventures. Love this idea.
But I have to ask, isn't micro-adventure just a fancy name for, like, going for a walk or exploring a bit? Does giving it a cool name actually change anything?
That's a fair point. But the sources argue the name matters because it changes the intention and the story you tell yourself. A walk can feel aimless, maybe even a chore. A micro-adventure sounds like a mission, an exploration.
Okay, so it reframes it.
Exactly. It's about making the familiar unfamiliar again, turning ordinary places into memorable experiences without needing a plane ticket or tons of time. They pointed out how many people feel they haven't really explored their own city or local area. Micro-adventures fix that. They give structure to local discovery.
I like that. Structure to discovery, so it feels less random, more like an exciting plan. What were some good examples for urban micro-adventures?
Think themed explorations, like map out a route to visit 3 different independent coffee shops you've never tried. Or find those hidden little parks or historical markers nobody notices.
Okay.
Or create your own street art tour in a particular neighborhood.
Yeah.
Even taking a guided night tour, seeing your city in a totally different light. Literally, these are quick, maybe a couple of hours, maybe half a day, but they create strong, positive memories. And creating memories is a key part of real rest.
That idea of active exploration, even just locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds way more rejuvenating than just another trip to the usual supermarket.
It really does. Oh, and just a quick safety note they included, which is important.
Yeah.
Whether you're exploring the city or heading into nature, wear proper shoes, sturdy boots or trainers, and always, always tell someone where you're going and roughly when you expect to be back. Basic safety prep.
Good reminder. Preparation applies to fun, too.
Hmm.
Okay, we have the master plan for a great weekend. Balance, prep, detox, adventure. Now let's build that language toolkit. This is where we really focus on getting that B2, maybe even C1 level fluency, moving past basic descriptions.
Right. How do you actually talk about this stuff naturally? Let's start with looking back, sharing what you did on Monday morning. That means past tense.
For regular verbs, it's usually straightforward for B2 learners, right? Just add EGA.
Yeah.
Walked, talked, listened, watched, cooked.
Yeah, those follow the pattern. You can string them together easily. I walked to the park and listened to a podcast while I watched the dogs play. Smooth.
But the real test, the thing that often trips people up but marks a more advanced speaker, is mastering those pesky irregular verbs.
Oh, absolutely. They don't follow the AD rule. They change completely. And they are essential because they cover the most common weekend activities. Eating, going places, seeing things.
Non-negotiable for sounding natural.
Mm.
Let's run through the crucial ones, maybe with weekend examples.
Good idea. Go becomes went. We went hiking on that trail I mentioned. Not goed.
Definitely not good. Okay.
Eat becomes ate. I ate way too much pizza on Saturday night.
Happens to the best of us.
Drink becomes hat. We drank coffee on the balcony. See becomes saw. I saw that new sci-fi movie. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Have becomes had. We had friends over for a barbecue. Take becomes took. I took a really long nap.
Nice.
Buy becomes bought. I bought some supplies for my DIY project. Come becomes came. My sister came to visit unexpectedly.
Yeah, that tricky one, Reed.
Ah, yes. Read stays spelled the same, but the pronunciation changes to parda, like the color red. I read half my book on Sunday.
Got it. Mastering those irregulars makes a huge difference in fluency. Okay, so that's talking about what happened. What about talking about future plans for the upcoming weekend?
Right. We need natural ways to talk about plans, showing how certain or uncertain we are, beyond just using will for everything.
So for definite plans, things you're pretty sure are happening.
Native speakers often use the present continuous tense, weirdly enough, even for the future. It sounds more committed. Instead of I will go shopping, it's much more common to hear, I'm heading out to the shops later, or I'm planning to start that new TV show tonight.
I'm heading out, I'm planning to. Yeah, that feels more active, more certain.
Exactly. It signals commitment.
And for plans that are less definite, maybe just ideas or things you want to do.
Then we use phrases that show intent or possibility. A fantastic one, especially for something you've wanted to do for a while, is, I've been meaning to check that place out.
Oh, that's a great phrase. Like if a friend recommends a cafe.
Yeah. Oh, really? I've been meaning to check that place out, maybe this weekend. It shows you've considered it before. You're not just reacting. Sounds very natural.
Okay. And we heard some of this in that little dialogue example earlier, right? Between Emma and Jake. Let's quickly recap how they used this stuff.
Yeah, listen again to how they mix definite and flexible plans. Jake said he was heading out Saturday morning definite. He'd been meaning to check that place out, past intention.
Right. And Emma said she might go for a hike, but would play it by ear, showing flexibility. But Sunday was definite. I'm planning to finally catch up on my gardening.
See? They blend the different forms naturally. And that phrase Emma used, catch up on, brings us to phrasal verbs.
Ah, yes, the mighty phrasal verbs, essential for sounding natural, sometimes confusing.
Totally. They're the workhorses of casual English. Let's break down the key weekend ones.
Okay, starting with rest.
Sleep in means wake up later than usual. I'm going to sleep in till 9 a.m. on Saturday. The opposite is stay up late. Go to bed later than usual. We stayed up late watching movies.
Got it. And just general relaxing.
Chill out. Super common. I just want to chill out at home this weekend. Means relax, take it easy.
Okay. Now, catch up. This one has two meanings, right?
Yes, and it's important to get them right. First, catch up on something, a task, means doing work or chores you've fallen behind on. I need to catch up on emails, laundry, my reading.
Okay, catch up on a task. What's the second meaning?
Catch up with someone, a person, means meeting a friend you haven't seen for a while to share news. Let's catch up with Sarah for coffee.
So you catch up on work, but you catch up with friends. Mixing those up could be awkward.
Very. Don't tell your boss you need to catch up on him.
Okay, what about leaving the house?
Head out or go out.
Yeah.
Much more natural than just leave. We're heading out for dinner around 7.
Okay, and for those micro-adventures, finding things unexpectedly.
The perfect phrasal verb is stumble upon. It means find something interesting or pleasant by chance. We were just wandering and stumbled upon this amazing little bookstore. Adds a nice touch of serendipity to your story.
Stumble upon. Love it. Okay, one last language tip. Upgrading our adjectives.
Yes, please stop saying everything was just fun or good. It's vague. To sound more B2C1, use richer, more specific words.
So instead of the walk was good.
How about The walk was peaceful or rejuvenating or invigorating. If you went to a concert, maybe it was exciting or incredible. If you did some gardening, maybe it felt therapeutic.
Ah, therapeutic. That's a good one for auto-development activities.
Exactly. Use words like enjoyable, fantastic, relaxing. They convey the actual feeling much better and show off your vocabulary.
Okay, we have the balanced weekend plan, the prep strategies, the digital detox, the language, but there's still Monday morning lurking, right? The Monday blues.
Ah, yes, the inevitable dip. But the sources had a final, really clever strategy for this.
So don't leave us hanging. What is it?
It's a bit counterintuitive, actually. You need to actively, deliberately plan a specific Monday treat.
A Monday treat, like bribing yourself to face the week.
Kind of. It's about creating a positive anchor. Right now, our brains often associate Monday with negative things: stress, the end of freedom, obligation. The treat is about consciously training your brain to associate Monday with something pleasurable, something to look forward to.
Okay, I like the sound of this. What kind of things work as a treat, and how do you make it stick?
It has to be something you genuinely enjoy, that feels special, and importantly requires minimal effort after a potentially long workday, and it needs to be a regular ritual, a tradition.
So not just a one-off.
Yeah.
Examples.
Maybe it's going to the cinema often cheaper on Mondays, or getting takeout from your favorite casual place. If you're staying home, maybe it's starting that new series you've been saving, paired with your absolute favorite comfort food that you only have on Mondays.
Making it unique to Monday is key.
Yes, it has to feel like a special Monday thing, not just Tuesday's leftovers.
This ties into another piece of advice we saw, doesn't it? About spreading enjoyment throughout the week.
Exactly. Don't save all the good stuff for the weekend. The sources strongly advise scheduling some social activities, dinners, coffee dates, quick meetups during the week itself.
So you're not just living for Friday.
Precisely. Maybe it's a regular Tuesday game night or a Thursday walk with a friend. Distributing those points of connection and pleasure makes the whole week feel more balanced, and Monday doesn't feel like such a stark cliff edge after the weekend.
Right, it smooths out the emotional ups and downs. Okay, let's bring this all together. If someone listening wants the one big takeaway, the essence of a successful weekend, according to these sources, what is it?
I think it's the combination of structure and intentionality. A truly successful weekend isn't just accidental. It's one where you manage both things. You got the necessary prep done, you tidied up, you did the task dump, you felt organized.
The structure part.
Right. And you deliberately carved out time for intentional rest and auto-development. Whether that was a digital detox period, pursuing a hobby, or going on that micro-adventure. The two sides, preparation and restoration, need to work together. That's what creates the ramp up, not the crash.
And connecting it back to the language piece one last time.
Being able to talk about it well makes a difference. Using specific verbs like went, ate, saw. Using phrasal verbs like catch up on, stumble upon, play it by ear. And using those richer adjectives like therapeutic or rejuvenating. That's what makes your English sound fluent and alive. It keeps conversations interesting and shows you've really mastered talking about your life. #tag outro.
Well, that was quite the deep dive. We covered a lot of ground today, starting with that essential three-part balance, right? Capping the study work, making time for auto-development, and really guarding that genuine rest time.
And the practical side, tidying for peace of mind, and that incredibly powerful Sunday task dump to clear your head before the week starts.
We also hit the necessity of digital detox, finding those offline alternatives like hobbies and micro-adventures to make disconnection feel like a gain, not a loss.
And hopefully everyone listening now feels equipped with the language, those key irregular verbs, the phrasal verbs for plans and activities, the better adjectives to not just have a better weekend, but to actually talk about it naturally and confidently come Monday.
Yeah, using went, ate, planning to check out, catch up on, play it by ear.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference.
And remember that key insight. Activities that feel therapeutic or rejuvenating, they are productive in their own way because they recharge your mental and emotional batteries. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening to mull over.
Go on.
How will you personally define and commit to your Monday treat? Or schedule in that next micro-adventure? How will you make sure the start of your week has that little spark of positive anticipation built into it?
So what does this all mean? It means your next weekend doesn't have to be a source of stress or guilt. It can be balanced, enjoyable, and genuinely restorative. And now you've got the tools to make it happen and to talk about it.
So plan that weekend.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.